The galactic space station Ardent Prime floated silently in the void, a hub of commerce, politics, and conflict, where dozens of species from across the quadrant converged. Among them, humans were still a novelty. Not many had ventured so far from Earth's cradle, and fewer still had earned respect, yet Aiden Vaughn, a human diplomat and explorer, had come to Ardent Prime to mediate trade disputes between the insectoid Ilrak and the amphibious Corlians. But his mission took an unexpected turn when he encountered her. A small alien girl no larger than a human child, with scales that shimmered like molten silver and eyes that glowed faintly in low light. She had been cornered in a marketplace by a group of smugglers, and without hesitation, Aiden stepped in. The smugglers laughed, mocking the human. "You'll regret interfering, Earthling. She's dangerous." Aiden merely raised an eyebrow. "You'll regret underestimating me." Before anyone could react, the girl launched herself at him. Her teeth sank lightly but firmly into Aiden's shoulder. He winced but didn't pull away. Instead, he noticed the possessive gleam in her eyes. "Mine," she whispered in a voice so soft yet so determined that it sent a shiver down the spines of the surrounding aliens. The crowd froze. Laughter died in their throats. Humans, it seemed, were not accustomed to responding to such unusual threats, but Aiden's reaction was measured. He didn't panic. He didn't pull her off. Instead, he calmly placed his hand on hers and said, "And now you're safe." That single moment became the spark of whispered legends across Ardent Prime. Word spread quickly. The human who endured an alien's bite without flinching, and who somehow commanded respect from the creature itself. But respect in this case was not universal. Within hours, Aiden found himself shunned. Ambassadors who had been cordial now crossed the hall to avoid him. Traitors whispered as he passed. Security bots and station guards gave him wary glances. The girl who he had learned was called Vera clung to him as if he were a lifeline. She had no home, no family, no allies, but she had claimed him and he had accepted it. Aiden quickly realized that in a galaxy governed by hierarchy and reputation, the bond between human and alien child was unusual, unpredictable, threatening, and in many ways, frightening to those who had built their power around order and control. Vera's bite was more than a warning. It was a statement of intent. And the humans, despite their seemingly fragile physique and minimal weaponry, had a unique talent. They could turn chaos into advantage. Aiden discovered this when smugglers tried to corner him later that day. The moment they approached, Vera hissed and leapt between them and her human. Her teeth flashed again, but this time, her threat alone sent even the largest Ilrak to retreat. Humans didn't always rely on brute strength, but they had instincts, strategy, and fearlessness honed by millennia of surviving hostile environments on Earth. Over the following days, the whispers grew. "The human," she claims, "cannot be touched. I saw it. He did not even blink when she bit him. No one dares challenge them." Humans were unpredictable, fast learners, and adaptive. The very things other species tried to control made them impossible to contain. The Council of Ardent Prime summoned Aiden. Every major species sent representatives. They wanted answers. How could a human so small, so seemingly fragile, command loyalty from such a dangerous creature? Aiden stood in the chamber, Vera perched on his shoulder, her tail curling protectively around his neck. The room was tense, every alien eyes wide, jaws tight. "I don't claim her for power," Aiden said slowly, his voice calm but firm. "She claimed me. I accepted her trust. And in return, I protect her. That's all." A Corlian elder, its skin slick and shining under the council lights, hissed, "Yet your species did not flinch when she bit you." Aiden's gaze swept over the chamber. "Because we adapt. We survive. Humans are not defined by how many we can defeat or how strong our armor is. We are defined by how quickly we can think, how fiercely we can protect what is ours, and how deeply we value loyalty." The room fell silent. There was no anger, no argument, just recognition. Slowly, the fear of humans' unpredictability began to sink in. A species that could remain calm in the presence of danger, that could absorb a literal bite without panic, was not something to be underestimated. Outside the council chambers, the consequences were immediate. Merchants adjusted their trade routes. Mercenaries reconsidered contracts. Even pirates gave Aiden a wide berth, reluctant to provoke a species whose tactics they did not understand. Humans had a subtle power, the ability to make others miscalculate, to turn hesitation into advantage, and to survive where others failed. Vera, for her part, became inseparable. Her bond with Aiden was a constant reminder of the unpredictability humans could harness. She trusted him implicitly, and her instincts were now finely attuned to his. Together they moved through Ardent Prime like a single entity, one that was dangerous not because of sheer strength, but because of unity, intelligence, and adaptability. It wasn't long before a larger threat arrived. A rogue fleet of Zelthar raiders, known across the quadrant for their ruthless efficiency. They attacked a nearby transport hub, expecting little resistance. Aiden and Vera were the first on the scene. Humans, as always, had no specialized armor or technology that dwarfed their enemies, but they had ingenuity. Aiden analyzed the raiders' patterns, predicted their movements, and coordinated with Vera in a display of unspoken communication and instinctual synchronization. The battle was over in under 30 minutes. Not a single human fell. The Zelthar fleet was routed. Word of the engagement spread faster than the initial bite incident. Humans do not retreat, the reports read. Humans and their companion? Unstoppable. Even then, the social shunning continued, albeit with a new layer of caution. Species gave them space not out of disdain but out of fear. No one wanted to provoke a species that could absorb danger, coordinate instinctively with an alien creature, and turn any engagement to its favor. Aiden understood the consequences. Being shunned was the price of survival and dominance. Humans had always walked this line, sometimes respected, often feared, rarely ignored. Yet the bond with Vera remained strong. She was not a weapon, not a tool. She was a partner, and their partnership was proof of what humans could accomplish when they forged trust and loyalty beyond the boundaries of species. Weeks later, Ardent Prime had settled into a tense calm. Humans were still outsiders, still shunned socially yet impossible to ignore. Vera's presence with Aiden had become emblematic of human unpredictability. The girl who had once been prey was now a symbol of humans' unique ability to adapt, survive, and command respect, even from the most formidable predators in the galaxy. And as they left the station to continue their journey across the stars, Aiden reflected on a simple truth humans had always known. Strength was not always physical. Power was not always measured in weapons, armor, or numbers. True strength lay in adaptability, in loyalty, in courage under pressure, and occasionally in surviving the bite of an alien girl who claimed you as her own. In the galaxy's eyes, humans were still new. But in the hearts of those who witnessed their actions, humans were legends in the making. They were clever, unyielding, and unpredictable, and anyone who underestimated them, anyone who mocked them, would learn quickly. Humans were not just survivors, they were a force of nature. Vera's teeth had marked Aiden once, but their bond had marked the galaxy forever.